Hello, everybody. Insane Gorilla again,
Peace.
and welcome back to welcome back to What if Deku was a Mandalorian? Where we last left off, Mandalore gave Izuku an okay sign after he asked how did he do in the fights. Now, moving on, where Mandalore, Inko, and Alex still have their discussion about everything. As Mandalore asks Inko what does she think about her son's fighting skills, as she's most probably bear witness to them herself more times than any. As Inko just says, well, he's a lot better at combat than he thinks. As I showed you the lightsaber earlier, he activated it, and well, I know he activated it because this thing had a lot of dust, and all the dust was evaporated from the plasma area. You know where a usual plasma bolt comes out of. The beam came out, so he already knows how to use it. Just doesn't have any combat skills with it. And he has beaten me more times than I can count with his bare fists alone. So, if we make armor that fits the Mandalorian style, but have sort of wrist blades, as Alex cuts her off, saying, that is not possible. We don't have the best scar to make that sort of stuff anymore. After the Jedi found out how to destroy it, how to destroy that certain armor, all those years ago. Yes, but that was years ago, Alex. Come on. Inko, Alex, stop it. And Alex, you are wrong. We still have enough Beskar to make armor like that. Okay, it's crude but effective. Come on, Mandalore. You can't be serious. Making armor like that is just going to show the Empire that that we're dangerous. Not if the clans don't know about it. And if the clans don't know about it and the Empire don't know about it, we have a weapon against them. This is something that we should discuss with the Mandalorians who are still loyal to us. Well, not to me precisely, but to you. You're the Mandalore. The ones that are loyal to you will come to your side. The ones who aren't will always stick with Saxon. Hell, even the Wrens will stick with Saxon now. What about her? Honestly, her, I don't know. She's House Wren. She sticks by her house. Most probably. But with that smile she gave off, I think she's willing to reconsider. Especially with the way she put her sentences. She'll be stopping by to spar every now and again. Meaning, if she constantly gets given a good thrill out of fighting Midoriya, she may change her views, but that I don't think would be possible. If you say we can build that Beskar armor and make him look like that, if I think I may know what your design is, we may not have enough time. Because as soon as the Imperials either A, get a whiff of something fishy going on, or they just get bored and launch a full-scale invasion. They don't need to justify it. They don't need to justify it, Mandalore. They are tenacious. They'll just say that the Mandalorians are a danger to all if they do not put a lid on us right now. And the Imperials, all Imperial citizens will believe that. Just look what we did in the Clone Wars. Bo-Katan and her Night Owls and the Loyalists. Bo-Katan isn't here right now. And plus we need the dark saber. If Azuko comes back with the dark saber, that will prove that he's more worthy to be Mandalore. And I don't want to put my nephew through this. He's too young, too inexperienced. Not with killing, but with punching people, yes, he is very ready for this. Okay, sorry guys. I'm back again. Whoops. Okay, sorry guys. I'm back again. And where we last left off, Deku, well, Mandalore just said he just didn't want to put his nephew through certain things, but he also came up with armor, a new set of armor for Mandalorians to wear if it came down to a full-out fight with the Empire. Zuko Midoriya still doesn't know what's going on because he's out of reach, so to speak. But Mandalore convinces Alex and Inko to help him make the armor in secret. He doesn't want the Saxons or Ren picking up on this new design, as it will help them tip the balance for independence from the Empire and from the Wrens and Saxons. As Zuko walks over again after a little while of practicing on his own, as Mandalore says, I'm heading back up to my office. We'll continue this later. As they say, yes, Mandalore. As Alex and Inko say, come on, we'll go and show you the city. As Deku just says, yay, I get to see this beautiful little city of ours. As they walk off. Now, Izuku's clan is very unknown, because there was only two. Well, there were two in a clan on their own, but now there's just two again. So they got called, like from the Mandalorian itself, a clan of two. As they both move well, all three of them move through the city. Alex is actually part of Mandalore's group, so he's fiercely loyal to Mandalore. As well, Inko, she's got her own priorities. As well, they move on to find a small fight between Saxons and Wren. Between the Saxons and Wrens. As these two groups don't actually see eye to eye. The Wrens only sided with the Saxons because they think that the Saxons could bring the supplies back to Mandalore so they could feed their civilians. As the Saxons want to bring the entire force of the Empire to Mandalore for stability. And if you watched the Rebels TV show, you know how that ended up for him. But with this is a deku what if, so things are going to be different. Deku still has, well, not much of an attitude. He still has the scars from his fight with the Ren girl. As the Saxon says, we will bring the Empire down upon Mandalore, and our people will be saved from not from the rest of the Mandalorians and their wars, but from themselves. As the Wrens say, we joined you so we could get supplies to our people, not so you could bring down the Empire upon our heads. But if they bring food, they bring soldiers, and the soldiers will take over. Think about this. As the Saxons say, we have thought about this. We believe it's the only way to save our people. Don't you get that? When they bring food, they bring soldiers. The soldiers can keep people safe. As well, they continue their little spat as loyal Mandalorians to Mandalore himself arrive, breaking up the fight. As they say, get out. And one of them just says, Ren, Saxons, get out of here. Before Mandalore has us throw you in prison. Just for causing a fight out in public. You're Mandalorians, so act like it. Well, he just points to the Wrens and says, Wrens, House of Ren, you're Mandalorians, act like it. Don't act like these traitors. As they all walk off, Zuko's saying, what the hell was all that about? Looks like the Wrens are having a fight with the Saxons? As Inko says, yeah. It looks like they were having a fight about something. We won't know the full details, and I doubt we ever will. As Alex just chimes in saying, it was about the Empire. The Saxons want to bring Imperial soldiers onto Mandalore as they bring food. They think it'll be enough to actually feed the people and also give the Empire a valuable ally. How predictable. Nothing can truly work without this. Unless the Wrens decide to disengage their alliance with with Clan Saxon, but I doubt that'll happen. Oh well. Let's continue on with the tour, hey? As a few days pass by, Izuku and the Rengo still have their little sparring matches, and it draws quite a crowd sometimes, as these two constantly bloody themselves up against each other. And a lot of mutual respect was given between both Izuku Midoriya and this Rengo. A few days later, the Wrens have a huge argument with Mandalore, and the Saxons do not help the matter by escalating the fact that they need Imperial troops. The Imperial troops can keep the civilians safe. As Mandalore says, enough. They've had enough. Leave, Saxon, and leave Wren. I've had enough. As the Saxons and Wren leave, as Mandalore goes to a secret chamber and invites invites Izuku Midoriya down to see what he, his mother, and his uncle have been working on in secret. And Izuku is now up to he's now 18. After a few days, I meant to say after a few years. He's 18 now. And Bakugo would also be 18. He'll be in year 2. Well, second year of high school. As well. Deku walks in to see this suit of Beskar armor. I know this isn't actual Beskar, I just found it. So, please forgive. As Deku asks new new armor suit for people. As Mandalore says, yes, but it's not for just anyone. As Deku says, this is for you, Mandalore. Because I've got to admit, I fully approve of this. As Mandalore shakes his head, saying, it's not for me. As Deku says, then who is it for? As Mandalore says, for you. Place down that old armor. This will be your new armor. It already has your clan tag on it. As Deku puts it on, as it feels very weird without his old Beskar armor. But he slowly gets used to it. As Mandalore says, alright, grandson, try and move. As Deku moves one of his legs forward, then moves the other. As he sort of moves around a bit more, finding if there's any kinks in the armor, and finds none. As he swings his fists around, as he reaches out his hand again, fist again, in a swiping action, as if on thought, a energy blade comes out of the top gauntlet, out of one of his little gauntlet arms. As it goes off with a zing, just a different sound, as he sort of freaks out a bit as he swings it around a bit as he sees that it's not exactly hurting him because it's so close to his hand. As he swings his other arm out, and the same noise happens again with the same blade. As he says, "What? How did this?" As he loses his concentration on the blades as they disappear. As Inko says, "Remember what I told you about your mind and how to sense things out there?" As Midori says, as just Deku says, "Yeah, why?" As Inko just says, "Well, if you could do that and you just feel and concentrate on things, like the blades and winning the fight, these blades will come out. This is what we theorized. This was just a theory, and it's a theory that proved correct. As you, well, you can now summon these blades whenever you need to." As Deku actually goes out on a few missions with his mum and his uncle, a few minor ones like scouting, to see how the suit goes, which borderline makes them so impressed with how quickly Izuku managed to, just, get used to it. As he says, "This is awesome." It responds completely to my movements in my arms, my body, my legs, my neck, my head, even my chest cavities. It responds to everything properly. As Deku finally gets sent on a mission of his own. The Saxons, well, not the Saxons, the Empire sent a small Recon team to an unknown, to the moon Concordia, where the last remaining Death Watch members were. As Deku gets told to eliminate the Imperials but leave Death Watch alone, because the Death Watch will actually take the brunt of the Empire's attack this time. As Deku bows his head to Mandalore, who gave him the mission, saying, "I will return, Mandalore. Mark my words." As he moves off, as he lands on Concordia, a few miles away from the Imperial landing zone. Sorry, I was yawning in the middle of that. As well, after a few hours of walking, he gets to where the Imperial landing zone is, to find that it is not just a small patrol, it's nearly a full-on outpost. A listening outpost, to be precise. As Deku could hear Imperials talking, he decides to listen in. As the troopers say that their commander is kind of jumpy today. He doesn't like being on this planet too many eyes. As the other trooper just says, "Yeah, right." the only thing on this planet are native beasts and Death Watch. There isn't anything much. Death Watch can't even penetrate our defenses. At least we have a good way of listening in to all communications of a Mandalore. And not to forget, we have the walkers to help out in certain situations if required. As the other trooper just says, "What, you mean the chicken walkers? Those things are easy to tumble over." As he says, "Shut up. It's not that hard to understand." As Deku says, chicken walkers. Does he mean the ATSTs? Let's see if I can nick a few explosives and see how many of these so-called chicken walkers there are. As he sneaks up behind both of them and grabs one, and let's say this, the other guy didn't see it coming. As Zuko goes up behind him and, well, snaps his neck. As he just leaves both of them out in the open for the Imperials to see. But he has one of the Imperials have his finger out, pointing in a direction. As the next patrol sees this, they call for backup, saying there's two men dead, or 2 men down. It looks like looks like one of our men saw where the attacker fled to. So let's have some more men and go and find out. As they do that, as more men go out to find out if there was anything over there. As Deku sneaks past all the other guards. Because the stormtroopers are stormtroopers, they don't really raise the alarm that something's wrong. As Deku just finds one Imperial on his own and stabs him with a knife that he has on him, just so he doesn't bring out his lightsabers. But he doesn't know they're lightsabers at all. He has his suspicions, but he's too distracted with the Imperials to really give it any thought. Eventually, he deals with the commander, raises the alarm as the Imperials burst into the communications room to find all of their equipment smashed to pieces as they hear explosions a few minutes afterwards. As the Imperial squads that went to find who attacked their men report saying that they're getting shot at. It's Death Watch. As SA send in the walkers. We need desperate reinforcements as the transmission cuts off. As Deku leaves the planet, sneaks off and leaves the planet. But before he does, he finds the so-called walkers. As he, plants bombs on them, as the Imperials try to, move them, the bombs go off, taking the comms station with them. As things don't go just as well on Mandalore. Izuku makes it back to find that Saxon is going too far, and the wrens are nowhere to be found. So Deku sneaks past everybody, goes straight to Mandalor's office, and says, "Mission a success." As he says, "Good. Quickly get your armor up. Go and find your old armor and put it on. You have somebody here waiting for you for a royal rumble, as she calls it." Deku's eyes go skyward, saying, "Oh boy, here we go again. This is going to be another standstill." As Mandalore says, "I wouldn't be so certain this time." She seems eager to beat you. She says, he says, as a door opens once again, as Inko walks in, saying, "Son, you're back. Good." Mandalore, Saxon's at it again. They're taking it way too far. What do you plan to do about it? Nothing. I can't do anything about it. If I do something about it, the people will rise up. Deku, go and give your Ren friend a good thrashing. As Deku leaves, saying, "Don't I always, Mandalore?" As he leaves to find his friend, so to speak, as she is standing there saying, "Come on, what's taking you so long?" As Deku just says, "Sorry. Mandalore just had me doing a few missions," as he puts his helmet back on. As he says, "You're not going to fight me with your armor on this time, I take it." As she said, "Well, notice anything different?" "Nobody's around. So I'm going to fight to the tooth and nail without much on this time. Because I want to see if I'm actually better with barely anything on. Apart from just a belt, a trousers, a t-shirt, a few armbands, and my armbands, and that's it. No helmet, no nothing. Just good old-fashioned fist to fist, body to body." As Deku takes his armor off, but takes off his t-shirt showing his muscles, and he's stacked with muscle. Since he's worn the suit a few times, the suit's helped his muscle density a lot. He's virtually prime All Might level. Well, not entirely All Might prime level, but he's a lot leaner as well. He's a lot leaner. He's a leaner All Might form, basically. When All Might was in his teenage years. Let's put it that way. As she says, nice body. I bet he's going to get roughed up soon." As Deku sort of says cheekily, "Oh, you just love it rough, don't you?" As she blushes madly, saying, "Shut up." As she really does blush. Madly blush. Even her thoughts say, "Why am I getting so flustered with this guy? He just gave me one of the best things I could ever hear from a man." And I don't think he even notices that I haven't been so angry at him lately. If my mother knew that I was dating someone from a different clan, she would be furious. As her thoughts get cut off, as Deku says, "By the way, I never got your name." As she goes by the name of Idril Ren. As Deku says, "Idril Ren. That's such a pretty name." As she blushes even more, saying, "You- You're the first man to ever hear me say, to ever hear my name." As Deku just says, "Men not really, you're not really attracted to most men, are you?" And she says, "A Mandalorian woman respects strength. And you've got strength. A lot more than what I do. So I'm going to call this one quits after this fight. So please, make it a good one. For me, would you?" And she sort of winks at him as Deku just winks back, saying, "Why not? I'll give you a rough one to really get you in the mood." As she says, "Oh, you. Why do men always have to take it such perverted ways?" As she sort of runs at him, sort of screaming, saying, "Now you're really going to pay for that?" As he smiles, saying, "Fine, bring it on then." As he goes into the same style he uses against her all the time. As she attacks him, landing a few good hits on him. As he does the same, got a lot more hits on her. As he, punches her even faster, which catches her off guard. As she starts to smile, saying, "Okay, now you really got me going." As she roundhouse kicks him in, tries to roundhouse kick him in the head. As Deku just grabs her leg, not grabs her, pushes her leg back, as he kicks her in the guts, saying, "You really think I'm not aware of that little move of yours?" And she just continues smiling, saying, "Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything more from you. Gotta admit, that hurt. That hurt a lot more than your punches do." As she runs at him again, saying, "But that's not me out for the count just yet." As she jumps and punches him smack in the gob. As he sort of steps back a bit, holding his mouth, saying, "Oh, I think you knocked out a few of my teeth there. Nice hit." As he sort of just spits two of his teeth out. Well, spits two of his teeth out, and she says, "Payback, I guess, for punching me in the gut." Ready for round. As he just says, as she says, "You now ready for round two?" As Deku says, "See, one of these girls who go around for several hours saying ready for round two or round three." As Deku gets back into a fighting stance, as Idril does the same. she gets into another fighting stance, one that's more centered around blocking, as she finds that this one is not easy to try and master while you're in combat with some guy who knows an unknown style that can break through shit. As she, well, does something she never thought she would do, taking off her belt and slinging it at him. Be aware this has, if you could see in the picture, two ribbons on the side, sort of making a little skirt. As that gets thrown at him, as he just simply swats it aside, as she actually manages to roundhouse kick him in the head. As he goes tumbling to the ground and rolling onto his front, or rolling onto his back. Before he gets up, she lands, well, jumps on him and wails on him. As Deku begins to smile, as she is also laughing, saying, "Come on, is this the best you got? Or are you just letting me win this time?" As Deku says, with a smile, "Now I'm fired up." As he virtually quickly, with blinding speed, uppercuts her, which sends her somersaulting through the air, but she manages to land on her feet. Slightly stumbling here and there, but she lands on her feet, as she also spits out a few teeth, saying, "Okay, 2 for 2. As Izuku gets up, saying, "Ready for round 3? Because goddamn you like it rough." As she once again blushes, saying, "Oh, stop it with this, would you?" Most ladies like it rough. As she covers her mouth as she says that, as Deku laughs, saying, "So you admit it? You do like it rough? Get over here so we can continue this battle." As she says, "Don't tell Mandalore I said that, okay?" As Deku just shrugs, saying, "Yeah, whatever. Now get over here so we can continue." As they continue to fight, as eventually eventually Deku gets knocked to the ground, as Idril lands on top of him again, hand on his chest and a fist in the sky, saying, with a heavy tone, saying, heavily breathing, saying, Do you get up this time?" As Deku says, "Yeah, I give up this time. You win." As she smiles, saying, and sort of sits down on him, saying, "You're tough, you're tough, you know that? What's your training regimen? Oh, hell. What did your mother put you through?" As he says, "Hell. She put me through hell." As she continues to sit on him for a while, saying, "And then my mother put me through hell. Hell. My brother even put me through hell. And my father. God, he put me through hell when I came back, all bad and bruised, saying I got beaten by a new kind of Mandalorian. Oh, I wish you could have seen his face. He immediately wanted to know who you were, but I kept your secret of you being a 15-year-old. And she sort of chuckles, saying, "Imagine it. Just imagine. 16-year-old getting beaten by a 15-year-old. and both of them having a rivalry for 3 years. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. Finally gain a victory over you. As Deku points out, or just says, technically this is your 89th victory. This is my, well, 68th loss. As she laughs, saying, don't be stupid. We both have the same score in defeats and victories. You just one more number more than me, but hey, who's really keeping score here? As Deku says, just sits up a bit, saying, I don't know. I lost count some time ago. As she looks at him with a smile on her face, saying, you're one badass man, you know that? Hell, I'm too hot and bothered to even move at the minute, so I'm just going to sit up like this for a bit. As Deku says, you're sitting on me, so you must be comfortable because you're sitting on me. And she says, yeah, you're very comfortable. So that's why I'm sitting here. As Deku just rolls his eyes, saying, come on, let's get going before someone gets suspicious. That would take it forever. Because I bet some people want to use the training room. As she says, what a way to kill the mood. As Deku sort of says, I can already tell what mood you were in. As she says, just really, you're gonna go there? As Deku just says, yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna go there. Because you pretty much were in the mood for a little bit more fun in the fighting department. Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally hit my mic. As she says, shut up. As she pushes him to the floor as she fully gets up, saying, be a good boy and go and fetch my stuff, would you? As Deku gets up and smacks her in the backside, saying, I'm not your dog, but I'll get it for you just this once. As she sort of doesn't turn around, as she sort of is madly blushing, saying, good. As he passes her belt back to her, saying, next time you want to try and distract somebody, throw something that isn't gonna reveal your underwear or the rest of your undercarriage, because it is a good strategy, but not very useful in a fight, because I wasn't very distracted at all. And she just screams, I'll tell him to shut up. As she still is blushing. But she did say, I did like the feel of your muscles, by the way. First time I ever touched a boy like that. If it wasn't through physical assaulting them. What? As Deku just says, what, you mean like knocking out my teeth? As she nods, saying, yeah, pretty much. As Deku just shakes his head, saying, women. And she turns around and says, what was that? Nothing. And she says, you better not be lying to me. As he says, I'm not lying to you. I'm just not lying. As she says, debatable, as she winks at him again. Saying, come and find me next time you're in town. I'll buy you a drink. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm leaving it off. This is part 3 of What If Deku Was a Mandalorian. Goodbye. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.